going to be packaging a bunch of hoops to bring to the post office. If you ordered with us, you might see it in here. So I coiled them down to a smaller size. And then I cut my bubble wrap into strips. Okay, I'm just gonna ignore this. Like, this is not just a coincidence. I don't know enough about this. My vague understanding of astrology is that it's pseudoscience, it's not real, it's kind of, there's no evidence to it. Or not that it's not real, actually, I shouldn't say that, but that it's considered to be pseudoscience. It's not rooted in real science. There's nothing, but it hasn't been proven to be accurate. It's, it should be taken with a grain of salt. I was like, maybe it's a coincidence. I get home later that day and I sit down and I record a podcast and it all goes to shit. I have all these technical difficulties. My camera is not focusing on my face, which has been an issue before with my particular camera. Sometimes it has like weird focus glitchy issues and I don't catch it and it ruins the video footage. But it was weird because that hadn't happened in like months, and so it was odd. And then also, I literally could not communicate. Like, I just couldn't talk. And again, it could always have been one coincidence, maybe, but it really piqued my interest, really sparked my interest about astrology because I was like, why are all of these weird things going on? How did I sense that Mercury was? So we're gonna use this clear wrap to bind down the bubble wrap. Because it was interesting that before I knew Mercury was in retrograde, I felt it, and then after, I tried to forget about it, and it didn't seem to resolve itself. Like, it continued. Now, as I'm recording this, Mercury is still in retrograde, and I'm able to speak clearly. The technical difficulties have resolved, but still, that day stuck in my mind. And it made me want to revisit astrology. And I say revisit astrology because when I was younger, I kind of got into it. I don't really remember how into it I was, but I remember I downloaded the app CoStar, which is like a popular, trendy astrology app. I remember it being somewhat controversial even at the time. Like, people were like, this is not an accurate app. And then some people were like, this is the best app. And no, everything. I had that app. I would read my horoscope. And then during my first breakup, I got into watching astrology readings. So I dream of hoops. We obviously think outside of the box. Like readings of my, but there's a bunch of different things that you can package. Weekly basis. I found a few like this. Because boxes can get expensive with shipping. So, like for instance, if you sell wooden plaques, instead of finding a box to fit it, just protect it in bubble wrap, and you can bind it down with this. It's called clear wrap packing. Now we just have to do this 10 more times. This is one of our best sellers. It's a solid state color beginner hoop. They come in different colors: green, orange, pink, black, silver. But people do like these. It kind of makes you look cooler as a beginner because most beginner hoops do have the spiral design. And that can kind of give you away, but this from a distance looks more solid state. So that's the reason why I designed this specific one, and it's taken off. So I don't know if that's the rhyme or reason behind it. I used to wrap brown paper after the bubble wrap, but it was just an unnecessary step, so we kind of took that out and makes the process a bit faster.
But this is pretty much how I tape them too. You just set it at a slight angle and spiral. But all these hoops are custom sized to your specific needs. If you have questions about sizing, I'm always happy to help. Hi, everybody. Yes, we are packaging hula hoops. If you guys have any questions, you let me know. This is just kind of a day in the life from working from home. I am the owner of I Dream of Hoops. I custom make all of the hula hoops. So if you order from me, they will be made by me personally. It's a one-woman show. I also have to get to the post office before 4:30, so we are on a little time crunch. This one is called Pink Lemonade. The deco tape has a slight yellow and pink tone. This is such a beautiful hoop. So this is going to be number 3 of 12, I believe. The hula hooping is a great form of exercise. Something that you can have at home. You don't have to make a special trip. Get a workout in. The convenience factor is really unmatched. What's everybody up to today? Are you guys working? Working from the office or at home? But you can find these hoops on my website, idreamofhoops.com.co. Or you can also find me on Etsy under I Dream of Hoops. I've been doing this for a while now, so I know all the tricks to the trade. That's something, you know, that just takes time, but I've ran into every issue. Alright, we got 3. This is just our clear polypro tubing. This is one of our other best sellers. It's the teal version.
one of the most popular series that we go on this podcast is advice session where I give people advice based on what I experienced in my life. What's interesting though is that I always say at the beginning of the episode to take everything I say very well because I don't know everything.
Okay, this is the silver version of our bestseller. Okay, we're doing pretty good on time. I was a little worried. The bad part of working from home is that you can find time to procrastinate more. I was vegging this morning, watching YouTube, and then I go to look up for my packing supplies, and my tape is empty. So I had to go buy some new tape. So that put me in a huge time crunch. So I've been working hard ever since, trying to make up time. That's something else that people don't realize about a Etsy shop or a small online business is that usually that one person is doing everything. So always be kind and patient with a small business. There's not always a team on deck. Like I said, I do all promoting. I don't have to do a whole lot of promoting now because I have established clientele, which is nice. So then I do all of the production. I do all of the packaging, customer service. I'm your girl. So this is going to be the orange bestseller beginner hoop. Let me move you guys a little bit closer. Where's everybody going on vacation, or have you already taken your vacation? We are fresh back from vacation. We flew into San Francisco, and we spent a couple days there. Then we drove up to Carmel by the Sea, which is like, if you haven't heard of Carmel by the Sea, please go look it up. It's the cutest little town ever. It looks like it's out of like a fairy tale, literally. They have stopped corporate America from painting their space, and it shows in the best way. So we went from the tech city to quiet Carmel, and then we drove one day to Big Sur, which has some of the most amazing views. So if you have never heard of Carmel or Big Sur, go look it up. I had no idea that even existed in the United States. And it was just really a fun vacation. One disclaimer I will give is that San Francisco The hills out there are no joke. No joke. So just warning, FYI, it will be tough on the legs, but worth the fun. San Francisco is like a big tech city, which that was something to see. They had Waymo, which is the driving service that'll have driverless cars. So you think that it would make you nervous, but it was actually a really good driver and not awkward because you'd have to sit there with a Uber driver. So I loved the Wemos. They're not as intimidating as one would think. But to see San Francisco like being so tech forward, it just kind of shows like what we have to look forward to. So I would recommend if you do go to Carmel and Big Sur to fly into San Francisco and spend a couple days there. Big Sur, it's weird. So it's just like a drive along Highway 1 along the coast. And they have these little areas where you stop in and there'll be like a big cliff overlooking with the water crashing. Like it's just really, really cool. It's all sightseeing. You pull over the car, hop down. So that's pretty much what Big Sur has to offer. And it's very close to Carmel. I would recommend staying. We stayed at Carmel Beach Hotel, which, you guys, that was like the best hotel I've ever stayed at. And not just like the service was unmatched. We got there, we were way early for check-in. They didn't ask any questions. They welcomed us in. That's so nice after a long day of travel, you know. The last thing you want to do is check in at 4 or have to wait around to check in at 4 or something. So that was a good starter. Then they had these welcoming drinks for us by the bartender. So that was really cool. The room was so clean that it made me come home and be like, oh my god, my house is so dirty. I have to start cleaning better. And then they would bring you cookies every day at 6 o'clock. As long as you didn't have do not disturb sign, they would bring you cookies. Like, what a small gesture, but it's such a big deal, really. This is our green bestseller. Like I said, it's a listing, and we have green, teal, orange. Most of the colors of the rainbow. But everyone really likes these solid state color hoops. But yeah, so I would highly recommend going. This was like it's more northern California. But we had a great time. Maybe do a little conditioning with your legs. Because San Francisco was tough because of all the hills. And then Carmel is slightly hilly, not nearly as bad as San Francisco. But so my legs were so tired from walking that when we got to Carmel, they were like, we have bikes on premise. So we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna take the bikes. That'll be so much better than walking. Our legs are so tired. Well, the hills on a single speed bike were not ideal. We were leaving the beach, and my husband was in front of me on his bike, and I'm trying to power through the hill, and there's this older couple walking, and I literally felt like I got stuck on the side of them. I could not go forward anymore. And I started screaming, "Babe, I don't think I'm gonna make it." So I had to walk my bike up the rest of the hill. I'm sure that old couple was laughing at me the whole trip. So we're like, okay, X that. So we had to rent a car. We didn't rent the car while we were in San Francisco. We didn't want any, we weren't going to drive around anyway, and we didn't want any issues in the bigger city. So we rented the car on the day that we left San Francisco to go to Carmel. So we had a car in Carmel and we just drove. The parking was okay. It wasn't ideal, but it wasn't a nightmare either. So we pretty much just drove everywhere that we needed to in Carmel to rest our little legs. But then we went to Big Sur, and Big Sur, sometimes you're on like a high cliff and you have to take stairs to go down to the beach or the viewpoint. So we powered through that as well. So I would say maybe do a little conditioning for your legs before you go, so you don't end up like us. But it was so worth it. We really enjoyed going to the big city, and then going to the quaint city, and then going to Big Sur, which was like very scarcely populated. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are gonna be 2 beginner mystery hoops. I love doing beginner mystery hoops, and if you guys ever have color preferences, I want you guys to be happy. I want you to love it. So if you have color likes and dislikes, always leave it for me. But this one is like a fun magenta and royal blue. And then this one is going to be like a black galaxy glitter with neon green. If you do order 2, I usually try to give you some, variation in color. So I went with a dark one and then a bright one. But always, always, always leave color preferences if you have any. Because like I said, I don't know what you like, And listen, you might think I'm kind of crazy, but I'm so obsessed with my customers liking the product that I'm giving that if you don't put color preferences on Etsy, I'll go to your Etsy page and look at things that you've liked or shops that you like, so I can get an idea. Okay, like this person likes a lot of blacks and grays, or this person likes pink. So I do go even that far to try to get color preferences. So like, always let me know. That way you'll be happy and I'll be happy at the same time. And I have almost all colors. Sometimes like in the Bear Polypro, that art tapes, I don't have all the colors in that sometimes. But if I do have the colors that you request, I'll always make sure to get them to you. And on Etsy, it's pretty easy to leave a note. But on Shopify, it's not. So you can always email me if you order from my website at idreamofhoops@gmail.com. And I'll put a little note on the order on my end. Oh wow, we only have one more left. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make it. Oh, I was so nervous after. Like I said, I lollygagged this morning. I was like, oh, I got time. I literally, you guys, I taped all of these hoops yesterday. There was over 10 taped hoops, and that is a labor of love. I was just really trying to catch up from vacation. I did close down my Etsy shop while I was on vacation, but I couldn't figure out how to close down my website. So I do have a couple orders that have been pending for a while. And if that is you, I do apologize. Life sometimes, and as much as we want everything to move perfectly, that's just not always the case. But I did work extra hard when I got back. So I had all of them taped. I was like, all I have to do is install the hardware, which could be tedious at times, but not nearly as tedious as the taping. But because there were so many, it took me longer than expected. And then I ran into a supply issue with my tape, my packaging tape. So I had to go run to the store and grab that. So that made me a little bit worried about my time, but I ended up powering through. This is going to be another mystery hoop. It's 3 of them. This one is going to be the same as the other one with the magenta and royal blue. This one's beautiful, guys. The white. And it has like a blue deco tape with it. And then this one is going to be like a tie-dye design with the purple tape. I wanted to give them some variety, but then something that also looks good together. I'm not sure what they're going to do with them, if they're keeping them for themselves or maybe giving them as gifts. And like earlier, I usually pre-cut these strips, but I didn't quite make it with as many that I pre-cut, but that's like things that I do to get ahead. So like, I usually package the hoops when I'm at work. So after I send all my hoops out for the day, at work I'll cut my little strips for the next day or the next time that I ship. I'll have them ready. It's just a little time saving tip on my end. So if you ever have a hoop and you need to get it back to the seller or ship it off for repair, you can always wrap them like this. You'll just need some bubble wrap, some clear plastic wrap. You can even, if you're feeling bougie, you can even use like the cling wrap that you use in the kitchen if you only have, like one to ship off. And this, I don't have any issues with like damaged tubes because the mailman can see what it is, that it shouldn't be jarred because it's a circle. If it was in a box, God knows what would happen to these things. So it might look kind of fragile to the eye, but I've actually had really good luck with the hoops making it to their final destination in one piece, shipping them this way. After this, all we'll have to do is put on the labels, and then we're going to head to the post office. All these repetitive, motions can be really bad for your joints, and, I got super busy all for Black Friday. I didn't think my hand would ever be the same again. All of my joints felt just closhed, it wasn't good. But I got back to normal. The same injury will get re-aggravated if I get real busy. But for the most part, on a normal day, it does not bother me. Does anyone else have repetitive motions they do at work with chronic pain in that area? better than expected. Okay. So these are going to be my labels. You guys, I've been drinking these loaded teas. It's just like a powder that you mix with water. Let me get you guys a little bit closer. It's just like a powder that you mix with water. And talk about delicious. Like, they're full of vitamins and minerals and caffeine. But they can be so much more refreshing than like a coffee. I feel like I just had a huge accent when I said coffee. Coffee? I do love me some coffee though. For Christmas, instead of me and my husband getting each other a gift, we got an espresso machine, which is a gift to both of us. And I hate to say it, but now I'm kind of a coffee snob. I don't even like Starbucks or anything. Like, that's gross to me now. But sometimes the loaded tea is just like a nice change from a coffee. They're like fruity flavored. They come in a bunch of different flavors. I love the Blue Blast is what it's called. But it's kind of like a berry flavor. You can get them in all different types of flavors as well. This is a second tea shop that I've tried. The first one is called Cajun Loaded Teas, and I really like their teas, but I just found that they were kind of expensive. They're like $3 a packet, and I am a tightwad, but $3, like I'm not going to the tea shop and get it made for me. I'm making it myself. It just seemed kind of steep. And it does get expensive if you drink them every day. So I found another place called the Loaded Tea Shop, and their flavoring is totally different, but in a good way. But that's the ones that I've been drinking recently. They are from the Loaded Tea Shop. They are a little over $1 a piece, which is a much better deal. You can make 2 teas out of 1 packet. And I've just kind of been enjoying a change in the taste even. But I find like the vitamins and minerals are probably what makes me feel better. I just feel better overall. I just feel better. I can't really put my thumb on it. Sorry, that didn't sound too good. Every time I go into the post office, I feel like I'm making that noise because my hoops are rubbing together. And people are always staring at me like, what the hell kind of packaging is that? It's like, stop judging and take notes. I spent $0 on boxes. You know, this is not the easiest thing to try to box to begin with. So I really had to just kind of think outside of the box, and we make hula hoops, so it's just perfect, right? I'm so happy you guys are here with me, because this can get kind of lonely and boring, the packaging. Does anyone else do any online work or work in a shipping department? Or maybe you're like me, you do a little bit of everything. I was already pretty seasoned in customer service before Etsy, so that definitely helped. I'm going to be honest, which might not be a popular opinion, but I do find that some Etsy buyers, because Etsy has a pretty proactive for the customer standard, that people try to take advantage of sellers that might not have a whole lot of customer service experience. But I'm a woman of good business. I know I do good business, and it's something that is important to me. So, don't be that person. Don't be that person harassing a small business, trying to get something for free, or complain about a perfectly good product. Because, you know, after doing all of this hard work, most of the time when you open up your messages, it's negative things. Every now and then someone will come around and just tell me how much they love the product and how much they appreciated the product, which means more than you know to a small seller. But most of the time, it's not always positive things. And it can be daunting and discouraging, you know, to wake up on a Saturday morning and be getting harassed by someone, even though you know what you did on your end was correct. It's just, it's really, it sucks, you know. But I am aware that not every customer will be happy. That's just part of customer service. But providing a good product, a good standard is important. for your track record in the long run. So I'm the opposite of that. Like, I am not going harass a seller because my USPS ship date says that it's supposed to be here today, which everyone knows because everyone gets things shipped. That USPS sucks. Like, they suck. Can I fucking emphasize that more? They suck. So once I do all of this, it's out of my hands. Unfortunately, like, if I could hand deliver every single hoop, I swear to you I would. I swear to God I would, because it's so aggravating on my end as well, and also the customer. I get it, but you know, patience is a form of kindness. So once it's out of my hands, USPS, their customer service is non-existent pretty much, or lackluster to say the least. So just be kind and be patient and understand that even though, yes, you did spend money with the seller has other things and other customers that they're having to deal with as well. So just be kind in that aspect. It can get tough because the only reason, like, people will tell me, like, please don't ship through USPS. But if I ship through FedEx or UPS, it would cost me more than what you're paying for the product. So I would have to charge $30 in shipping or more. So I wish it was an option, but for me, it's just not. So I either continue to deal with USPS and all of the hardships that come along with that, or I quit making hoops. That's the only two options that I have. Because I know no one would want to pay that much for shipping, and I don't blame them, you know? So that is why I ship through USPS. So my apologies in advance. That's just something that comes with the territory of selling online. But yes, USPS needs to get their freaking stuff straight, because it is so discouraging to work so hard and hand make a product at that, for it not to be delivered in a timely manner. It's really upsetting, and they don't care at all. Like, my boyfriend works in retail. I'm sorry, my husband works in retail as well. And USPS, they have a lot of volume. So they're always like, they had to quit shipping with them too, for numerous problems. And they always come to me like, why aren't y'all shipping with us anymore? Like, all they see is dollar signs, dollar signs, dollar signs. It's like, how about you look and see how unsatisfied all your customers are now and get it down packed, you know? But it's not how it goes. That's the detriment of corporate America. Alright, you guys, I'm gonna make it. I have 2 more labels and only 1 hoop package, so I'm gonna have to figure that out too real quick before I run to the post office. pretty in check with our customer service. They want our standard to be at like 95% of everything. Which 95% is almost impossible with the Karens of the world. Am I right? Even if you have the most perfect business and everything's just hunky-dory, you're still gonna have someone that complains about something. Like, I've noticed the Karens, like, I can identify them in my messages immediately. Because, like, just the way that they approach it. And then if you solve the problem, the original problem, then they find another problem. So they're just really trying to give you a hard time, is what it feels like from the seller's end. So it would be impossible to please everyone, Etsy. Even just minus 5% is impossible. But that's the service standard they have. I found my missing hoop. Well, thank you guys for packaging my hoops with me today. I'm going to go get this little bad boy coiled up and ready to go. And I'll catch you guys next time. Let me know if y'all want to hear anything or me to cover anything.